Hey guys, so before this video begins, I just want to quickly give a bit of a thank you for how well this series is doing, and I really hope you're still enjoying it. And also, I'm going to need your ideas. I'm going to need your ideas for something to do that you want to know how to do that I might know how to do. What do you want to see in this series? You have the opportunity to ask me in the comments here. I read every single comment. Don't think that I don't read the comments. I always do. I love seeing your feedback. I really do want to see your ideas for this series. Make it better, make it more expandable, make it more inclined for you and other people to learn how to do the stuff that maybe you don't know, maybe you just want an episode about it, maybe you want it to be one of these things like in the background here, just one of these sections. Simple things, more complex things, I don't mind. With mine and Sagtot's combined years of experience on factions, I'm sure we will know. So yeah, make sure you post that in comments. Remember, we're playing on the Canon server on one shot on one of the private servers, not on the main server. We're playing on one of our private servers that you can get if you buy Legend Rank for $40. And yeah, by now, I don't know if the first episode of Iratus is coming out, but time of filming this, it's resetting tomorrow, which is going to be awesome. So I hope you gathered all these tips from Factions 101 and going to go apply it to Iratus when that thing opens. I got a few interesting videos planned on Iratus and on the channel in general, so make sure you stick around for that. Now, without me blabbering on anymore, on with Factions 101. Damn, that rhymed. Oh man, that's the intro now. So I'm actually on my own for this video. Sagtot decided to go to bed because he's been doing stuff all week. Busy man, he's got school and stuff, can't blame him. But today we've actually got an episode about cannons this time. And some of the more common mistakes I see people making with cannons. This one is just a mistake. So you've got the button here, and then you got the lever. It's very good if you're just like tunneling a very small thing, you know, it's not worth making a full sort of cannon for like this. It's quite good if you're trying to hit out something from a skybase. The way you'd use it is just slap that there. You really only need it there, to be honest. You would stand here, press this button, flick that a few times, and off it goes. See, it's very good with that. And especially if you don't have that there, if you don't have a barrel, it goes a lot higher, and it goes further as well because it doesn't have that extra added friction. Or actually, I might have just added some extra time. And you can adjust the time between it, so you can choose if it goes off really quick. That's going to be really quick. So now we are completely destroying our platform, but I don't think that matters for this video. This one, another one, chose to represent ladders. Ladders everywhere. Ladders are actually great in terms, just for this. Only for this. This is just symbolic of this thing here. I see a lot of people use slabs for theirs. I personally never do because it increases the risk of your cannon blowing up. It also actually reduces how far it can shoot. Reason being because as soon as TNT's here, let's say if it's on a slab, right? Let me just set this up for you. Now a slab is a half block. You can see, to do with angles and TNT exposure, which we're going to talk about again over there in a second, but when TNT's dropped here and it's there, you can see how, if you imagine all of the TNT like a little like lines and stuff going there, you can see how some of that's going to be disrupted because of this full, like this block here, and as soon as that's an entity that goes even closer to there. There's this there, and it's going to reduce your TNT exposure to the actual TNT. Although this doesn't matter as much in huger cannons, it definitely helps if you want to reduce some dipping in the cannon. Let's say you're shooting like 20 chunks and it's going like a few blocks under it if you're just shooting a scatter. Maybe adding a ladder to your cannon might be a good solution for you, because you can see with this one, it's got a much smaller block. You can see the outline of the block there. It's got a much smaller hitbox, and that increases significantly the TNT exposure. If you imagine this giant thing compared to this very thin hitbox you've got here. Now moving swiftly on, I have no idea why people put two of these, or even just two blocks of this in one place. It really won't help at all. Let me just get rid of this rain. If you're tunneling someone with just these two dispensers, it's fine. Honestly, this isn't necessary at all for an ideal tunnel cannon. It will still get you the same distance and the same amount of shots. Reason being is because if you just have one scatter, it will still always go through a certain amount of blocks going this way. And when a TNT hits, let me just make this wall. When a TNT hits this wall here, it's only going to go through a certain amount of blocks this way. In that case, it only did 2, right? Now, don't get me wrong, you would also be right. Having 8 TNT hitting this wall at once might go through about 4 blocks, right? But typically, if you've got it on a scatter, 2 TNT, as soon as one goes off, blows up the 2 blocks, there's the air in the way, it doesn't have to go through more blocks. It will break these, possibly these. It will go through about 3 or 4 blocks, possibly even 5, depending on the block you're tunneling through. It'll just due to blast resistance and stuff. In theory, what it should do, I mean, the only way that you would ever do this to make it viable and usable is that when having 2 TNT, if you're having 4 times that amount of TNT, you would expect it to go 4 times as far. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You'd expect it to go that far in once, and that's the only way you would have that sort of TNT power behind it. That's the only way it would be worth it, but it doesn't. I would never do this on a cannon because it doesn't make enough difference for it to be worth the amount of TNT loss. let's bring back the dumb card. Let's just hover around here. Let's bring it back. It's dumb. It's just dumb. Alright, let's give this one a label as well. This one, just dumb. This one. This next one is just a little bit of a tip I want to give you, because I do see some people doing this as well, is that if you have a sand here, and you push it, oh my god, that was laggy. Push the sand. Do you see how it kind of hovers in midair? After being pushed, it goes, it's still a block, so it goes, you can kind of see with the hitbox, still a block, and then it falls. Still a block, it falls. Ideally, what would happen is it get pushed out and it would pretty much straight go down there, right? This is why, with one-shot sand is why I'm using red sand. In one-shot sand, it's much easier if you've got the one-shot sand in a cobweb also, or it's in mid-air when it gets pushed. And you can see this when I'm going to put it into an entity form. This is why most modern hammers have this sort of one-shot design here. Just a quick way to wire it. If you put signal here, then it powers both of them. So you can see that when the sand entity comes about here, when it drops a lot faster than these. So I should be playing clips side by side, and you can see the difference in how long it takes to fall. The way you can do this with a cobweb is simply just having in a cobweb, and as soon as it touches this cobweb, the piston is going to be pushing that entity of sand because it's going to be partly in that block. And when you push it, it falls, and you only did that in a one block space, and that really helps if you've got an issue with the sand being pushed out like that, and while it's in this kind of the block form, the TNT is going off. So what you should do in that situation is make your sand piston go one block or one tick earlier, like maybe like that, and then it'll go faster. Then the sand will be an entity when the TNT hits it. Lastly, this is more of the most complex one here, because again, this is the third episode of this. We're gonna step into more advanced stuff, you know, more advanced cannon tutorials, more advanced cannon tutorials, and yes, we might actually do some cannon tutorials, like full cannon tutorials, how stuff works. I might do that with another cannoner, maybe. Haven't really planned much of that out yet, we'll see. The reason why this is a more complex one is because this is all about TNT exposure. Now we've got the ladder here for optimum TNT exposure, right? So you can imagine all your TNT is getting compressed into this block here. You got the sand compressor, we're not doing anything with that though, so don't worry about it. But what you would worry about is these blocks here. Now, again with the TNT exposure thing, god damn it, really? But no, seriously, when you've got your TNT here, you can see how if you draw a mental line with where that TNT, that's not hitting much of that TNT. If your power is going off as soon as this piston pushes your TNT out and it's behind the block, you want it to be about there, because then it's got absolute maximum TNT exposure. So when it hits that, it drops down and gets to about that point. So if you're having issues with TNT exposure, just take away a tick to the piston, push a bit earlier, make sure all the hammer's falling in the right time, but take away a tick, it'll be just dandy. Remember guys, if you didn't like the video, you know what to do. If you did like the video, make sure you leave a like on the video. Lets me know how much support I have for these. The last two episodes did really, really well on my channel. Couldn't have hoped for better. So much support and love from you guys. I'll see you in the next one of these, and we'll keep progressing this series so you can be the most knowledgeable factions players out there.